With President Trump's new tariffs on Canada's economy, it is reckless to remain so helplessly dependent on just one export market, the United States. Canada must also look to sell to other countries, and I've found just the one. It is a country that needs Canada's products, and it sells things that we'd benefit from buying. It's a peaceful democracy with lots of resources and famously nice people. It shares our climate, culture, and would you believe it? Their official languages are French and English, just like us. There's only one problem. This country imposes massive trade barriers on us that cost about $5,100 per person. So which country is it that we should be pursuing as our new top trading partner? Switzerland? France? No. Our new top trading partner will be Canada. But don't we already have free trade with ourselves? Nope. It's actually easier for our businesses to sell to other countries than to other Canadian provinces. Trade barriers between Canadian provinces are actually more costly than trade barriers between Canada and other nations. The result is that we now trade more with the rest of the world than we trade with ourselves. In 2023, international trade was worth 66% of our GDP, while interprovincial trade was only worth 36%. That makes no sense. Economist Trevor Tomb estimated that eliminating all interprovincial trade barriers would boost Canada's economy by as much as 7.9% and generate an economic boost of $200 billion per year, or $5,100 per person. In 2022, Canadian provinces and territories sold nearly $600 billion to the U.S. and only $241 billion to each other. Trade barriers are standing in the way of Canadians doing business with Canadians. So what are these barriers? Well, some provinces have rules that discriminate against or block Canadian products from other provinces to favor politically connected corporations and power-hungry bureaucrats who profit from blocking customers from shopping around. For example, in 2012, Gerard Como was fined for buying alcohol in Quebec to bring it back to New Brunswick. He challenged it up to the Supreme Court, but the court wrongly denied his constitutional right to transport goods across provincial borders.
A New Brunswick man that just wanted cheaper beer. He took his fight to the Supreme Court of Canada, but today was denied in a landmark ruling. You can do business more easily with Belgium than you can with another province in this country. What is the next step? Is this a political decision that needs to get tackled? What needs to happen?
Well, it seems to me that it is a political decision.
Often, provinces have contradictory health and safety regulations which slow or block the moving of goods. Differing weights and clearances by provinces slow and stop truckers from shipping goods. For example, some provinces require certain trucks to only drive during daylight, but the provinces can't agree on the definition of daylight. Construction zones in different provinces have different height limits and permits that are approved one day and can be voided the next. Therefore, our truckers can't efficiently move the massive machines and materials needed to build pipelines, bridges, and other big projects, or to affordably move goods to your local store or your doorstep. You know, the laws of physics are the same in every province. If a certain tonnage of weight is safe to carry in one province, it should be safe to do so in the province next door. Harmonizing rules on weight, sizes, clearance, and driver training would let truckers move hundreds of billions of dollars of goods east-west rather than just north-south, and could boost our GDP by up to $1.6 billion. To understand the size of the problem, look no further than the Canada Free Trade Agreement that is supposed to allow commerce between our provinces and territories. It's an exceptional agreement. Exceptional because of all of the exceptions or carve-outs that allow provinces to block products from the rest of Canada. As the Globe and Mail put it, it is noted more for the number of exceptions it allows than for the number of barriers it actually eliminates. Of the deal's 340 pages, 133 were needed to list those exemptions. The Montreal Economic Institute in 2023 counted a total of 245 exemptions across all provinces and territories. The threat of President Trump's tariffs is a wake-up call to all political leaders who are now forced to put the national interest ahead of special interests. Canadians will expect all political leaders to do what it takes to make our country more self-reliant and less dependent on the Americans. It starts with trade at home. So let's bring it home. Here's how. 1. Within 30 days of becoming Prime Minister, I will bring together the premiers to agree on removing as many exemptions as possible. 2. The first and easiest goal will be to agree on one standard set of trucking rules to get billions of dollars of goods moving safely east-west instead of only going north-south. 3. Agree to create a Blue Seal professional licensing standard recognized in each province so doctors, nurses, and engineers can work in all provinces and territories, and those Canadians trained abroad can quickly get certified and working in Canada up to our standard. And 4, to get the deal done, I'll offer the provinces a free trade bonus. Every time a provincial government removes a barrier, my government will calculate the resulting boost in GDP and give the increased federal tax revenue to the province for schools, hospitals, or whatever else the premiers choose. Scotiabank estimates that removing all trade barriers would generate $15 billion a year in extra federal government tax revenue. That's a lot of money that the federal government could pass on to provinces that open up their markets voluntarily to other Canadian companies. Because this bonus would only be paid out of boosted government revenues from free trade, it would not add to the deficit or to your tax bill. Free trade in Canada will not be enough to displace the massive U.S. market, which is the biggest economy in the history of the world. But we must start bringing home more business, take care of ourselves, and escape our helpless dependency on forces out of our country and out of our control. That means approving more pipelines, rail lines, transmission lines, and speeding up ports to sell more at home and abroad. We must take back control of our lives and country. Canada first, Canada last, Canada always. Let's bring it home.